Hello and welcome to Records Rebuilds, and today we've got a pretty good episode for you because I'm going to tell you something that I don't believe you can find anywhere else on the internet, and that is because I had to look this up and find out for myself, and it took quite a bit of trial and error, so I wanted to share it with everybody else. And it regards these beautiful carbon fiber wheels. So I ordered the car with these wheels, but they're very expensive. And I don't like to use them around town for two reasons. Number one is, let's see here, the tread pattern on these tires. They're really built for the racetrack, not for around town use. And the other one is, it kind of makes me nervous maybe curbing one of these things. You know, the tires won't last very long, so these are my track wheels. Maybe that'll end up being a stupid idea, I'm not sure. I may bang one up on the racetrack and really regret doing that. But for now, these are my track wheels. So we've got to have a set of street wheels, and that is what these are for. I really like the standard titanium wheels, and I like them a lot. The problem is, unlike the C7, with the C7 I always had two sets of OEM wheels, and I would just swap back and forth between the track tires and the street tires. But with these two, there's a problem, and that's because this is much deeper on this wheel, as it needs to be, because the carbon has to be thick enough so that it doesn't break, than it is on this wheel. If you can look right here, it's only this thick right here. You know, the distance between the rotor and the lug nut. And I'll show you in a second when I get these off of here. It is much tighter. So, sorry, not much tighter. It's much thicker. So that means if we take this and put it on here, these lug nuts are far too short. They'll bottom out and they won't hold the wheel on. So we need different lug nuts. Okay, so now that I've got a wheel off, let's take a look at it. I hope you can see this here. Right in here, you can see how deep that channel is in comparison to the forged aluminum wheel that we showed you earlier. You know, my finger just barely fits the whole length of it there. You can see it's just quite a lot deeper, and it has to be for this type of wheel to work. Consequently, let's take a look over here, and you will see this thing has just really long studs, and that's because it needs to be. The wheel's really thick. If we use the regular lug nuts on there, then that'll bottom out and the wheel will just be floppy on there. Now, these rotors, pay attention to these rotors when you're changing these wheels out, okay? If you nick this thing, if you so much as nick it, you're going to have to replace the whole thing, and that will cost you several $1,000s. So be very careful when you're putting the wheel on to make sure you don't crack this rotor or damage it in any way. Okay? Don't say I didn't warn you. Okay, so let's talk lug nuts. These are the two longest 14 by 1.5 lug nuts on the entire internet. So of the lug nuts that will fit the studs on the C8 Corvette, these are your two longest options. This one is 2 7/16 inches, and this one is 2 5/16 inches in total length. I think Amazon lists this one as like 2.42. I forget the last decimal there, but they're very close in length. But you have to get it exactly right, because this one is long enough that it will torque down, and this one bottoms out before it gets there. I cannot believe that there's a difference between these two, but you can use this one, and this one you cannot use at all. I wish that we had some options that looked, you know, a little more like the original lug nuts of the car, but I haven't been able to find those. So if you can find them, let me know. This one, like I said, you can get on Amazon. I will post the link to it in the description below, so that if anybody else is trying to make the same switch that I made, you'll be able to find it there. Okay, so let's take a look at these lug nuts. Now, I know they don't look quite as awesome as the OEM ones that came off of there. I'd love for them to be flat. I like that style better. These are more like the C7 style. These kind of like an acorn, I think they call that on the top. But I think overall they look really good. It's a lot better option than just using an open-ended lug nut that lets the stud stick out the end. And I'm going to call this a victory. Like I said, if you guys find any lug nuts that fit the bill for this that look better or just as good, please let me know and I'll make a video about that and mention you in it. But otherwise, I'm going to go with these. And until next time, see you later, guys. Oh, and one more thing, just so you don't forget, these lug nuts need to be torqued to 140 pound-feet, and that is because they're bigger lug nuts than on the C7. It's 40 more pounds, but you need every bit of it, so make sure you tighten them down to 140. See you guys.